You are now listening to Sentinel SoundBytes.
So we are live. All right.
Hello and welcome back to the Sentinel SoundBytes podcast. We are recording here on the campus of Alabama School of Cyber Technology and Engineering, and we are fortunate to be joined today by two special guests, ASCTE Chief Technology Officer and recurring guest now, Chase Golden, and cybersecurity teacher and lead content developer, Mary Clair Wright. Appreciate you both joining us. Mary Clair, I'm going to start with you. This is a relatively new role. You just transitioned from out of the classroom. I think you joked some off the air. You're like on sabbatical. So kind of talk to us about where you're at right now and what that title means.
So I am a cyber instructor here. I teach Cyber 101 and the first half of Cyber 201, or the first year of cyber instruction that all of our students get. In March, I transitioned out of the classroom for our spring term, and we have launched a great project with the State Department where we are developing curriculum for an existing course in artificial intelligence that can be taught to 10th through 12th graders all across the state of Alabama. And it's an exciting partnership for us at the school, and it's personally an amazing opportunity. It's something that I've always wanted an opportunity to do. So right now I'm knee deep in curriculum writing and research and trying to lay out the content that Alabama teachers can take back to their classroom. Beautiful.
And Mr. Golden, to loop you in, as she kind of alluded to what she's doing, can you touch on, as we are pushing this curriculum out to the state, kind of from your standpoint as the CTO, how this came to be and what exactly it is we're doing?
So I'm the chief troublemaking officer. I make lots of trouble, and I pull Mary Clair into it. We have the legislative mandate that established the school. So you'll develop this school focused on cyber and engineering in Huntsville, Alabama. The second mandate in that legislation was to assist districts across the state. And so talking with our stakeholders at the Alabama State Department of Education, they had a course of study for AI that had been validated a couple years back. There was no content, no curriculum for this course, and so it wasn't being implemented in the classroom. And so we saw a really good opportunity to just plug in and do something. We've got expertise in-house. I called Mary Clair up and said, hey, you want some extra work? She said, sure. So we got to discussing that with the State Department of Ed, and they took us up on it. And so we're about halfway through the performance, or the period of performance for that contract, and looking forward to delivering that in September of this year.
Beautiful. Well, Mary Clair, as you get looped into this and you get the chance to do something you've always wanted to do in writing this curriculum, explain to us kind of the lens you looked through as you were doing this, kind of your philosophy behind writing it.
So I started with who's going to be teaching this, who's the kid in the room, and who's going to be teaching this. And I spent 20 years in Mobile County Public Schools teaching, and so I have several levels of reference of what it's going to look like. But nobody that's teaching this course is going to have a degree in artificial intelligence. I've had the pleasure of training and working with other teachers in Alabama for 10 years that are teaching computer science and cybersecurity, and we don't have degrees in that. So our goal is to design a course for a teacher and students that don't have a lot of background knowledge in this. The other lens we're casting this through is that Chromebooks are the device of choice for most school systems. And we wanted to make sure that everything can be done on a Chromebook, that the teachers and the students walk in the door with the resources they need. And so that's been our primary focus of, you don't have to be an expert in this. Let us meet with our experts. Let's go ahead and lay this out for you. And I'm really enjoying it. It's a very project-based focus, in that in my mind, the kids are going to come in, let's drop our bags, and let's see what we can learn about this for 45 minutes. And so it's high stakes, and that this, I think, is critical content for Alabama students to learn. But it's a low stakes course in that there's not an AP test tied to it. There's not an ACT section tied to it. And so it's really a chance for them to learn and explore this topic that is going to drastically impact their lives, where everyone feels comfortable and knows that they belong in the room.
I love it. And Chase, you alluded to this a little bit earlier, really how doing this fits the mission of the school itself. Can you kind of expand more on that and just what it means for us to be kind of hopefully hitting the mark of what we've been called to do?
Absolutely. So we were stood up to be a disruptor, an alternative model for public education. And so when you talk about all things STEM and technology especially is getting really nebulous right now. So people often conflate oh, you're a cyber expert, you're an AI expert, you're a quantum expert. That's not necessarily the case. This being, though, a kind of introductory conceptual course, we saw an opportunity to enhance AI literacy, starting at high school grades 10 through 12. And so we jumped on that. It takes a village to pull together all the expertise. And so, I may have a really good handle on how AI works for applications in cybersecurity, but I'm not necessarily the data expert or, how to train a model or prompt engineering. And so the course of study standards were written in such a way that we were able to touch on a lot of different applications for AI and how to differentiate AI between things like automation. So we're hoping that as we go through this kind of next industrial or next workforce revolution, we're producing students that can speak to the capability of AI and how it can impact or will impact their lives.
Wonderful. I appreciate touching on that. And Mary Claire, again, I'm going to go back to something you kind of touched on, is that I've heard you talk about, is we've had teachers come through and watched you teach, or you're doing professional development with them, that you have designed this in a way, because some teacher might be listening and go, hey, I'd love to teach that, but I don't know anything about it. But you talk to us about the way you've kind of designed that through the lens of, I think you've talked about it, like when you've been voluntold to teach a class, you could still do it.
Yeah. So American public school teachers don't have the luxury in a lot of cases of teaching one course. If they do, then they are teaching a full load of, let's say, freshman English all day long. And so when you either are told by a principal or a superintendent, hey, this is exciting, we have a new course you want to pick up, or at some places you work where you have the luxury of going to your school leadership and saying, I think our kids should have a chance to take this course, I'd like to offer it. It still doesn't mean that you have untold hours in your day to develop these resources. So I thought it was really important that we're going to give you everything you need. It's a course in the box. We are going to lay out exactly how to teach it. And one of the things that I'm really excited about, one of the things as a school that we take a lot of pride on, is meeting our kids where they are. Our kids come from all over the state, and they bring a powerful level of diversity. And our job as instructors, especially at the 100 level, is to meet them where they are. We needed to do the same thing with this course, both with the students and the teachers. So built into the course, we have what we're calling node checks, because a node is a technical component of some artificial intelligence learning. But stop right here. How's it going with your kids? If this is going well, carry on. But if this penny hasn't dropped, you can hunker down right here and still meet the objectives of the lesson. But this is the important part, and then these are the extensions. And so it will let every teacher manage in a way that they're comfortable with as you grow and develop. I have a theory that it takes about 3 years of teaching content to really get comfortable with it. And in 3 years, if they wait 3 years to teach this course, their kids are going to be really behind. The other thing that we've done is it's written by Alabama teachers for Alabama students. And so as many of the activities as possible are tied to our area, to the industries that are here, to the colleges and the degree programs that they can study on. And so hopefully they'll feel some agency and some ownership that this is not for everybody. This course was clearly designed for me. And I'm hoping there's some power in that. When the superintendents and the principals come through, they ask me, how can we block AI? How can we keep it out of our schools? And they don't like our answer. It's you can't. Instead, we want to develop a community of leaders who understand how it works, who understand the implications, who understand the power of it, so that the attorneys in town and the new mayor and the police chief and the educators can incorporate AI into running a better city. And so that's really been the focus of the course all the way through. It's not necessarily for the programmer, but maybe it's for the kid who wants to go to law school, and let's talk about the privacy implications of AI. And so that's been really where we're pulling a lot of our content and our driving force.
Love it. Well, as we're kind of tying this thing up, Chase, I'm going to let you speak on, we've talked about kind of how this came to be. We've talked about what it is, where it stands now. What can you kind of let us in on as far as where this is going, what the timeline may look like, and what you can share with us right now?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we're about halfway through the period of performance for this. We're coming up on delivering our next deliverable at the end of this month. This will wrap and be delivered to the state September 30th. It'll, undergo some review from there, and then we'll be able to offer training on that come next summer. So teachers will be able to say, hey, I want to offer this course within my series of courses in the Information Technology Cluster, the CTE course of study. So we'll try to get training out. That'll be summer 26. Get them in-house here at the ASCTE, walk them through the course for a week or so, and then we'll set up checks throughout the school year as they're piloting the program for us. To see how they're doing, how they're feeling about the content, and how they feel about assessing for learning inside the course. So super pumped. I think the biggest takeaway from this relationship with the State Department of Ed and us around developing content like this is just literacy. It's going to develop a common taxonomy so that when we're talking about AI, we're talking about its shortfalls, we're talking about what it's capable of. We're all speaking the same language.
Love it. Well, Mary Claire, we will let you go lock yourself back up in your room and keep writing. And Mr. Golden, appreciate both of you taking time to be with us and sharing with us all the things that are exciting here at ASCTE. And we will look forward to talking to you again soon.
So we are live. All right.